welcome back to another video. I'm just got back from the Baltimore Pen Show from this weekend. This was my first pen show that I've ever attended. I drove up on Thursday, checked into the hotel. I didn't find out about this pen show until about a week before it happened, so I didn't get a room at the Marriott where the show was. I stayed next door at the Hilton. Um, It was kind of a last minute thing. I don't know how. I think I saw a YouTube video about the pen show from last year or the California pen show. And then I looked up, what the schedule for pen shows was this year. And I realized I was pretty close to the one in Baltimore. And I still had a week. So I just pulled the trigger, booked a room, drove up uh, to see what it was all about. So I did my research. I watched plenty of videos about pen shows in the past and the ones that people have put out about what to expect and what to bring and blah, blah, blah. Um, so I felt like I was prepared, but I don't know. I'll talk about my experience more later. But this was the bag that they gave away. Um, a plastic bag. I was hoping for a reusable canvas tote or something like that I had seen from other shows. But that's what they gave you. All right. And then for the free gift, they gave away this Private Reserve Zero Luxury Professional Hand Ink Remover. Cosmetic grade, 1 ounce. It smells very clean. I haven't really used it to see if it actually works or not, but anyway, that's that. You see that? Private Reserve Zero. There's the ingredients and the directions. All right, so that was the free gift. Now, the recommendation was that you have a plan, that you have a budget, you know what you want to find, what you want to pay, this, that, and the other. So I knew pretty much, I have about 30 pens right now. The most expensive one that I have is a Mont Blanc 149 that I got at the end of last year. It's a vintage 80s pen, but it was never used, so it's basically brand new condition. Um, so my wish list for this show was some kind of Pelican, hoping for 800. Of course, 1,000 would be nice, but um, I'll show you what I got. And then I was looking for a Sailor, which they were kind of hard to find at the pen show. But I did find one and I did buy it. And I was a little freaked out after, but I'll explain that later. So, this is the wristband that they give you. I had bought tickets for Friday and Saturday. I only ended up going on Friday, which the recommendation was go on Friday. Everybody else is at work. It'll be less crowded than Saturday, and you'll be able to navigate the tables and you won't have to wait so long to speak to people and that kind of stuff. That was a lie. The line to get in the show at 11 o'clock when it opened was to the front doors of the lobby. Um, it was very crowded Friday, first thing. So maybe that's true at other shows, but this one, there was a lot of people there. So it was a little overwhelming, and I expected that. But anyway, um, so the first vendor I bought, Day Art Store. So I bought this fountain pen wax seal stamp. It didn't come with the handle. I already had that. But I thought that was cute, and I would definitely use that. I love putting wax seals on my envelopes, so I'll definitely use that. That's where I got it. Um, I don't remember how much I paid. I think it was $20. I could be wrong, but that was a good purchase, I think. Then I got some ink at Ferris Wheel Press. Lures of the Lock. I've been curious about their inks. This is the swatch. It's got some shimmer in it. It's rose gold shimmer, no sheen, green, medium shading. It says to rinse pens thoroughly when exploring a new ink color. It says that this is uh, that it's safe for all fountain pens. I probably would not put this in anything over $20. I would probably put it. It says use it. It's best to use with a dip pen. Um, Medium to broad nibs, dip pens, that kind of thing. So mainly I will use it with a dip pen, I'm sure. I did put it in one of my Lamis just to try it out, um, and it's nice. But the shimmer, you shake it up, and the shimmer gets all through the ink, but then in no time it's settled down to the bottom again. So might be a little difficult to use. I don't know, but anyway, that was $22. They give you a cash discount, so it was $20 in cash. All right. All right. So for the pens. Oh, and with the Ferris wheel ink, I did get a cloth tote Esterbrook reusable, so that was very nice. I will use that. So for the pens, the first pen I bought a Pelikan M605 green white. As far as I know, this was a limited edition, special edition, limited edition, whatever you want to call it, from 2021. I had seen these on other videos, and I thought the white with the green was nice. So I wanted, of course, I wanted an 800. I wanted the biggest pen I could afford, basically. Uh, but when you look at these pens, you look at the Mont Blanc 149 and then this pen. The difference in size is, as my college thermodynamics professor would say, is negligible. If you look at 1,000, 800, 600, 400, 200, the difference between each one is very small. But when you look at 1,000 to a 200 or 1,000 to a 400, the difference is pretty big. But not having this pen next to another one to compare it, it's a good size. So I'm happy with the size of it. I'm happy with the coloring. It's a 14 karat gold nib. Let's see. Let's see if you could see. Oh my god. Let me try something else. Alright, there we go. 14 karat, extra fine. This is rhodium plated, but it's a gold nib. It's rhodium accents. Let me see here. I wrote down some notes. So yes, Pelikan M605, palladium. they say palladium. Somebody said rhodium. Oh, the rhodium is for the sailor. Palladium covered, 14 karat gold, 585 gold nib. Okay. And I bought this from Tom Bailey, the pen man. He's a pretty much Pelican and platinum dealer. He had a lot of Pelicans, but this one just caught my eye. The green and white. It looks. Someone in another video said it looked like Christmas. It looks like it's just like minty, fresh, cool, uh, cool tones. I like the silver, um, palladium, but it is a sovereign made in Germany, so I'm very happy with it. The only thing I don't like is at pen shows the pens are loose. You don't get boxes from some of the dealers. There are some that they're brand new stuff and they do come in boxes. This pen being from 2021, there is no box available for it. So it's kind of like buying a hot watch out the back of the trunk of an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme or something. It's I don't know. Honestly, I would rather buy my pens online and get the box and the paperwork and everything. This pen did have ink in it, so I had to clean it. It had ink inside the cap. The threads are there's still a little bit of schmutz in there I have to clean out. But I don't know. I'm a little leery. The white, I hope it doesn't stain. If you get, I don't know. That's a worry of mine, being a white pen. But the best thing about the Pelicans that I know is it's a piston filler. The new ones, you can't really see through them between the stripes anymore like you could with the older ones. But you can just unscrew the nib and really get in there to clean it out. So that's a good thing about a Pelican. I bought some Pelican dark green ink. That's what I'm going to fill it with. Yeah, so that's the Pelican. Do we want to go into cost? Let's see. So says Google. MSRP is $720. Retail is $576. I paid $450. So that's about. I guess I'm okay with that. So anyway, next, I wanted a sailor. I found a sailor. I really like this model. It's Pro Gear. This is this one. The coloration is called Sunset Over the Ocean. It's a special edition. So it's got some shimmer in the blue and in the red. We can see some shimmer, some glitter in there. Very nice. And the red too. It reminds me of like a 70s vintage amusement park ride or something. Or Buck Russell's bowling ball from Uncle Buck. it's very shiny. You can see the sailor logo. Yes. Okay. Cap Band Japan, founded in 1911. Founded 1911. Sailor, Japan. So this is it's a gold nib also, but it's rhodium plated. It's 21 karat gold. This is the old style nib, so it has 1911 on it. I'm told the newer nibs go for a newer design, and they omitted the 1911. So I don't know if that makes this one worth more or not, but it says 21 karat, 875, and it says Sailor below that. So this is the standard size. They make Pro Gear Slim, Pro Gear Standard, and Pro Gear King of Pens. The Slim has a 14 karat gold nib, and it's only like 5 millimeters smaller lengthwise, half a millimeter smaller diameter. So again, between the King of Pens and the Slim, the difference is noticeable, but between the Slim and the Standard, it's not so noticeable. But again, I wanted the biggest pen I could afford. This one was, I paid $350. I did freak out a little bit when I got back to my hotel room because I didn't have my calipers or my anything to weigh it or measure it, and I was like, oh, did that guy screw me? Did I get a Slim and paid $350 for it or what? No, this is a standard size, so I feel like it was a good deal. Like I said, there were very few vendors that even had Sailors or the kind of Sailor that I wanted, the coloration that I wanted. So I forget, I didn't even pay attention to who I bought it from. Actually, it was when you came in the show, and you turn that first corner, the luxury pens are on your right. You get to the end of that hallway and turn left. He was right there on that corner. But again, a loose pen, no box, no paperwork. So that kind of sucks. But mainly, I just put the boxes away after I get the pens anyway. So it's not that big a deal. But so I will say I was a little overwhelmed with the show. I got there when it opened. For some reason, I thought it opened at 10. It didn't open till 11. I made a lap around the outside, went through the inside, came back around the outside, talked to Tom about the Pelicans, bought the Pelican. I brought with me my Parker 51 and my Schaefer Cadet because I wanted to get the nib worked on this Parker 51. Oops, sorry. This nib is a little bit bent. So I was hoping to get that assessed and maybe corrected, but it was so crowded. You have to, what I found out later, I'm standing there like a moron. You have to sign up on the sign up sheet, and they have several people ahead of you. So I didn't get it looked at. I think maybe I found a nib on eBay for $20, so I might try to just replace it myself. That's if I can get the hood off. I tried soaking it. I can't get the hood off. So, and some of the videos I've seen, that they are very difficult when they're old and crusty with ink, and so I might have to soak it some more. Apply a little bit of heat. We'll see. But it writes. I mean, I've got ink in it. Let's see. It writes. So what are you gonna do? But And the Schaefer, it writes too. I've got ink in it. Schaefer. So, no. No big whoop. Um, so I stayed for a few hours. Um, by about 1:30, I had had enough. So I went back to my room. Um, the weather wasn't so great. It was a little chilly. It was foggy, kind of misty in the morning. It had rained the night before. So, and I didn't sign up for any of the classes or any of that stuff. Uh, maybe my next show. I have booked a room at the Marriott in August for the DC Super Show. So I've got my room booked. I've got my tickets for that show. I'm going to try again and maybe do some of the classes and actually do a little bit more socializing, but not this time. So let's ink these pens up. They were, like I said, they were both ink, so I've cleaned them. I've taken them apart, cleaned them. I got the Pelican Royal Blue for the Sailor. It had blue ink in it already. I don't know what kind. Um, and I wanted a green for the Pelican. So these are the two swatches. That's the Royal Blue from Pelican, and that's the dark green from Pelican. All right, so let's ink these up and see how they write. I usually go for a medium, but this time I decided to go for extra fine. I've been lately practicing my Palmer and Spencerian, so with those you're supposed to practice with a fine or extra fine pen. And the only one, really the only pens that I have currently that are extra fine or fine are my, what is it, the Jinhao 20. It's like the dupe of the Vanishing Point, or my Jinhao, what are they called? The Jinhao 86. The dupe of the Parker 51. That's got a fine tip. So these are good for practicing the Palmer. Everything else I have is pretty much everything else is medium. So anyway, let's ink these up. I was going through my pens today and I decided to write all the model numbers down because it's a lot to remember. But yeah. So anyway, let's ink these up. Cute bottle with the pelican on the lid. Pelican and the baby chick. Now, what do you think? Should I? Like I said, I'm worried about staining the pen, so I thought about taking the nib out and just filling it with a syringe. But I'm going to be brave and I'm going to do it one time like you're supposed to. Okay. That's the Pelican. Let's do the Sailor. I hear people complain about the ink in the Sailor, that this should be a piston fill, but it has a converter. Let's start with the Pelican. Pelican M605. Fountain pen. Piston filler. Let's see, 14 carat. Extra fine. Green, white. Sovereign. So I'm trying to be a little bit more of a serious collector here. So I've got the Mont Blanc, I got a Pelican, I have a Sailor. I think next I need to get some kind of pilot, something a little higher end from Pilot. Um, yeah. So maybe that will be my objective for the August show, is to get something a little bit high end from Pilot. Baltimore Pen Show 2026. So, I mean, everything I've heard about the Pelican is true. It's very smooth, buttery. You know, extra fine can be scratchy sometimes, but this is very smooth. I'm very happy with it. Yeah. I did see some people that I kind of knew from Facebook, but it didn't really engage. All right, so let's try the Sailor. To me, this is like when you think of when you hear the name Sailor, this blue and red is just so nautical to me that it's like this is the perfect. To me, this is the perfect color to get. So I'm very happy with it. So let's see how this one. This has got the. This nib has a lot of feedback. I knew that going into this. Extra fine. Let's put the mic down so you can hear this. It's scratchy, but it's not in a good way, I'll say. Why is that not focused down here? Focus. There we go. Sailor Pro Gear Standard. Sunset over the ocean. This is 21 karat. So, third Grail pen acquired. So it is very sad. The feedback is satisfying the way it writes. The sounds are really good. It writes very well. So, I mean, no complaints. Ink capacity is not the biggest deal breaker for me. So, I'm not really writing them I'm not writing a book with it. I looked at some TWSBI Ecos. I was going to get one of those, but I couldn't really. I didn't want to settle for any of the colors they had. They just weren't talking to me. And that's the thing, when I go antique hunting, anything, I'm not just going to buy something because it's there, but it might not be the thing that I actually want. I would rather hold out and wait to get what I want. So I don't know. Like I said, the experience from buying at a show is a little. It's weird if you've only bought things online. I think I prefer buying them online, knowing that I'm gonna get exactly what I don't know. I'm getting exactly what I wanted to hear, but I don't know. It's just how do I say what it makes me feel? I almost resented the hobby after after I got back to my hotel room with the pens. Uh, there was a little bit of resentment there for the hobby. I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, I brought my pen case with me, but it was full, and I had some little what are they? The little pen sleeves. Um, so I found myself taking some of the cheaper pens out and putting these in their place so that they wouldn't get messed up in my bag. Whereas if they had a box, I wouldn't feel so bad. I would know they'd be. And this pen came, this one comes with a really cool box with the lacing of the ribbon. So, anyway, it's the pen that matters, not the box. But if I ever go to sell one of these, if it comes with the paperwork and the box and everything, buyers might like that better. I don't know. So the show was fun. I don't know. I'm gonna try again in August, and that's the big show. I know that's bigger than the one in Baltimore. So, well, it was a nice little getaway. I got Sky Miles for the hotel. Yeah, that's my haul. Probably gonna have a video coming out soon where I do some Spencerian practice. Uh, maybe just writing, no talking. So yeah. The only other pen I think I would want to buy a real one of is the Pilot Custom Urushi. This is the cheap. They don't really even have a name for it on Amazon. It's some Chinese name, but they just call it the big fountain pen. And it is. I mean, this pen is not expensive and it writes great. You can leave it capped for weeks at a time and it will still write. So I love this pen. I don't think I could justify spending Urushi prices for a real one. But So yeah, these are my currently inked pens. I have my Montblanc 149, the Big Blue, the Wing Sung 630, now dubbed the Junlai 630, the Pelican, the Sailor, Monteverta Strata, Omniflex, the N7 Blue Peacock from Hongdian. This is a great pen. It's not very expensive, but it's a great pen. Piston filler. It's beautiful. Writes well. Can't complain. This Lachiva Lux I got for Christmas with the mother of pearl. With a Schmidt nib. It's pretty excellent as well. This was not a cheap pen. This is about $100. So my collection is growing. I'm starting to get better quality, higher end pens. Adding to my ink collection. I've got some vintage, I've got some new, I've got, I think it's a pretty well rounded collection. And I think, the pens I buy are the ones that I like. I'm not, some of the pens that people go gaga for, I could care less about. They don't do it for me. But the ones that I have, I really enjoy. So, all right, with that, this has been a little bit of a rambly video, but just wanted to share my haul. Comment your experiences at the show if you went, or shows in the past. And comment if you're going to the Super Show in August. I'll see you there. All right, that's it for me. Take care. Bye-bye.